there is one thing that, when developed and cultivated, leads exclusively or directly to disenchantment, to dispassion, to cessation, to peace or to calmness, to direct knowledge, to enlightenment, to nibbana. What is that one thing? And then here the one thing is a recollection of the Buddha. Anguttara Nikaya, Book of Sixes, number 10 and number 25. So here the Buddha is explaining what is recollection of the Buddha. Here the noble disciple recollects the Tathagata. So one recollects the Buddha by calling to mind the classical 9 epithets of the Buddha. The Pali Bhagava. Okay, the Bhagava is an arahat. So the word arahat is used to signify one who has reached ultimate and complete purity of mind by eradicating all the defilements, and who has thereby gained liberation from the cycle of birth and death. First quality of the Buddha is arahat. He is one who, with his realization under the Bodhi tree, has eradicated all the kilesas, the defilements or afflictions of the mind, and broken the bondage of samsara. And so he's become a liberated one. He is perfectly enlightened, one who understands all the principles of the Dhamma in their depth and their extensive range, in all their implications, ramifications. So we say the Buddha is perfectly enlightened, fully enlightened. Then he is accomplished, he has clear knowledge and excellent conduct. Then the word translated fortunate, Pali it's sukata. Literally, this is one who has gone to the good, that is one who has reached the ultimate goal, or one who has gone in a good way, that is by going along the Eightfold Noble Path to the attainment of enlightenment. Okay, then the Buddha, through his enlightenment, becomes the knower of the world, the one who can know and see all the different realms of existence, the heavenly realms, the human realm, the subhuman realms. All of these come within the range of the Buddha's cognition, direct cognition. And he also is a knower of the world in the sense that he knows directly, he can know the entire, the minds of people in the world. So when people come to him, he understands their minds, their dispositions, preferences, inclinations. And so he can teach whoever comes to him in exactly the appropriate way. And for this reason, he is called the unsurpassed trainer of persons to be tamed, because when people come, sometimes people come to him with very rough characters, people who are greedy, proud, like greedy businessmen come to him, and the Buddha knows how to train them and help them to eliminate their greed. Sometimes angry Brahmins come to him, and so the Buddha will know how to tame the anger of those Brahmins. Sometimes proud kings and princes come to him, and the Buddha knows how to subdue their conceit and their arrogance. Sometimes even a violent killer like Angulimala, the Buddha met and turned him into a very gentle saint. So the Buddha is called the unsurpassed trainer of persons to be tamed. And then he is the teacher of devas. The devas are the deities in the various heavenly realms. So in the middle of the night, when the rest of the world is sound asleep, then the devas come to the Buddha. They descend from the heavenly world and they ask the Buddha questions, and the Buddha instructs them. And of course, he's teacher of humans. Then he is the enlightened one. This is the word Buddha itself. Again, we have that word Bhagava, which is the word that's used in Indian religious culture, or the one who is supremely worthy of veneration. So the one who is worthy of honor and veneration by the world. So that is Bhagava. And so as one dwells on the qualities of the Buddha, what is happening is that the mind is gradually getting purified. When the noble disciple recollects the Tathagata, on that occasion, the mind is not obsessed by lust, hatred, or delusion. And so one dwells on the qualities of the Buddha, and one sees that there's this peace and beauty and wisdom and strength coming from the figure of the Buddha. And all of that is helping to put lust, hatred, delusion, and greed out of the mind. And the mind is simply straight. And then he is departed from greed, emerged from it. Greed is a designation for the 5 objects of sensual pleasure. So one is focusing on the Buddha, and so the mind is not dwelling and roaming and wandering out towards sensual pleasures through the 5 senses. Okay, now it's said that recollection of the Buddha, sort of the purpose of this recollection, is to bring the mind to a state of samadhi, concentration. And how that state of concentration arises, found that was explained more clearly in another sutta. This is Anguttara Nikaya Book of Sixes, Sutta number 10. The Buddha is speaking to a lay disciple named Mahanama. First he explains how the noble disciple recollects the Buddha. Then when he recollects the Tathagata, his mind is not obsessed by lust, hatred, or delusion, but is simply straight. Then, here we come to the important sentence. A noble disciple whose mind is straight gains inspiration in the meaning, gains inspiration in the Dharma, gains joy connected with the Dhamma. When he is joyful, rapture arises. For one with a rapturous mind, the body becomes tranquil. And one tranquil in body feels pleasure or bliss. And for one who is experiencing bliss, the mind becomes concentrated. So one uses Buddha nussati, recollection of the Buddha, in order to proceed from joy to samadhi, to concentration. This concentration is sufficient as a basis for developing insight. And so one turns and observes that mind that is focused on the qualities of the Buddha, and one sees what is in that mind. That there's a feeling. This would be, since it's a pleasant state of mind, a pleasant feeling. There's the perception of the qualities of the Buddha. There is the volitional activities. That is in this case, what's most prominent is the intention of keeping the mind on the qualities of the Buddha. And then there is the awareness of all of this, which is consciousness. One lets the attention spread through the body, and one experiences the aggregate of material form. Observing them, one is seeing that all of these sankharas, these phenomena, are arising and passing away. And now the mind has been cleared of all of the debris, the obscurations of the defilements and hindrances. The mind is well focused, and so one is clearly able to clearly perceive the arising and passing of the five aggregates. So that is the beginning of insight knowledge. The insight knowledge into the arising and passing of all of the phenomena, all of the factors that make up our own body and mind. And as one sees the arising and passing away of these phenomena, one is gaining insight into impermanence. And then one sees all of these factors of experience are impermanent. Because they're impermanent, they're not fully secure as a basis for happiness. They're defective, imperfect, so they're dukkha. And since they're impermanent and insubstantial, one can't take them as a basis. One can't identify them as myself. This is I, this is mine. There's no I, me, mine. So one is seeing non-self. And that way one is getting the insight into impermanence, dukkha, or suffering, and anatta, non-self. And so as one is seeing the three characteristics in those five aggregates that were present in contemplating the qualities of the Buddha, one is turning away from all conditioned phenomena. One loses the fascination or the enchantment with the phenomena of the world. So that is nibbida, what's translated disenchantment. Okay, then as disenchantment becomes stronger, it leads to dispassion. That is the clinging or grasping of the five aggregates now fades away. Then fading away of the grasping, then craving ceases. With the cessation of craving, there comes peace and direct knowledge. And then when all of the factors are mature, then there comes that breakthrough to enlightenment. And then with the achievement of enlightenment comes the attainment of nibbana. For that reason, the Buddha says that this is the one thing that when developed, you see, it has to be developed and cultivated. It has to be bhavita bahulikata. Bhavita means repeatedly practiced. Bahulikata, abundantly practiced. And then it will lead to these results.